Art is too important not to share. Welcome to the Allie and Callie Artcast.
Hi, I'm Allie.
And I'm Callie, and we're with the Coeur d'Alene Arts and Culture Alliance. Hello, everyone.
Hello, and how are you today?
I'm great. Guess what?
What?
I'm 60 now.
What?
Isn't that weird? It's a weird number.
Yeah, it is.
But I love
number.
even. Odd is always hard for me, so even's better. That's what I say.
I know. I kind of, well, but then the 65 or the 55.
Those are
There's
fun.
something about that, too.
I like those. You're halfway, one way or the other. Yeah.
Right.
But there's something
60.
about 60 where I was like, wow, how did that happen?
Yeah.
It's a big number.
It is.
But it's going to be a great year. So
it is going to be a great year.
I know. I'm excited, and I've got my grandbaby and my kids and my mother-in-law and my father-in-law are moving here shortly, and so it's going to be a house full. There's going to be dogs and cats and all kinds of things. It's crazy.
It's
and
fun.
Singing in the Rain will be opening up. I just want to mention it if I haven't already. One more time. Singing in the Rain opens at the Croc. The Jane Smock, that's not right. They renamed it recently, and I cannot remember the name of it to save my life.
The Croc Theater?
Yeah, it's this. Oh. It's something Smock, something. I should know that, but I don't. Anyway,
okay.
It opens on August 4th.
Midge?
Yes, Midge Smock. Thank you.
Midge and Pepper Smock.
That's it.
Yeah.
How do you know that?
Because I know them.
You know them. Okay, well, anyway. It will be playing 2 weekends, and it's Singing in the Rain. Lots of tapping, lots of dancing, lots of singing, great costumes, great direction by Callie McKinney-Cabe.
Callie! Who? Oh my God, you're a superstar.
I know. Musical direction by Deborah Rambo Sin, and also choreography by Allie Day and Trigger Weddle and Reese Weddle, and some assistance by Jen Kleinkoff, and it's a great cast. They're all local talent, and we would really like you to come see the show because it's just...
I'll be there.
It's a great show.
I'll be at that show.
You know, it has that classic song. Good morning, good morning. We slept the whole night through. Good morning to you. Tip tap, tip tap, tip tap.
And then there was an ad that came out. Good morning, blah 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 blah. Good morning, good muffin to you.
I don't remember that one.
I don't know, some ad.
Right.
That's what I remember.
Tap, tap, tap. That's
right.
My fingers doing the tapping. Anyway, and I cut all my nails off, so I can't tap. So how are you?
Good. My mom's going to be 90 this year.
I know, 90. My dad's already 90.
Yeah.
He just turned 90.
I know, 90 is a big
90,
deal, too.
I know. Both our parents are 90.
Yeah.
We're getting up there, aren't we?
No, we are youthful
we are young,
vibrant.
Vibrant. All I want to do is sleep more. That's all.
I do like to sleep.
I just can't sleep. I wish I could.
Right.
That's my problem right now. But someday I'll sleep. It'll be great. In the winter when it's dark, I sleep more.
Right.
It's true. I
do. It is
so,
true.
Anyway,
right.
Life is busy. It's good to be busy, and the summer concerts are going great. Don't forget about them. Thursday
nights.
And eventually we're going to have that cover up, and it's going to be fabulous.
I know, the cover is getting shipped.
Ooh, it's going to be so exciting. So don't forget about it. Thursday nights, 6 to 8 p.m. We have spirits and yummy food and great music.
Great music. And it's free. Yep.
So,
well, we are looking forward to learning a little bit more about Roxanne Ward. She's a local author of a book called Sins of Survival.
Yes.
Which she has another one that's kind of a moderation of it. Isn't that right?
Yes.
Well, it is a parallel book that I wrote because of my granddaughter. And I was a middle school teacher for 20 years, so I thought to myself, a language arts teacher, so I said, I should write a book for her. So I decided to make it a parallel book. And I love the idea of an adult reading a book that's, at their maturity level, and a kid or a young adult reading a book that it's appropriate their maturity level, and being able to talk about it and have it be two completely different stories, and then being able to share, like
I
gossiping.
love that. I know, that's really fun.
So that was
welcome. We're so glad you're here.
Yeah.
the name of that one is called Somewhere Else. It's actually in the it's about to be initiated into the Coeur d'Alene libraries.
Oh,
Great.
cool.
So
Oh, cool.
Wow.
Well, tell us a little bit about your background and how you got started.
Well, I've always loved the written word. My father was a language arts professor at a college and a dean and all kinds of other things. And my mother was arts and crafts artist. And so between the two of them, art was a huge part of my life. And my grandmother, she wrote poetry, and she taught me to journal, and she taught me how important it was to journal. And so I still have my volumes of journals from when I was a kid. And I just have always loved writing. And I love storytelling. I love thinking about stories. So my dad used to call me the what if girl.
Oh.
Because I would literally, anything could trigger me to come up with a story or a scenario that didn't always have him happy. That's not going to happen. So don't worry about it.
What if?
So in all those excitement and creativity, I used to think I was a little odd, but I have used a lot of that creativity to help kids learn, to help my kids, my students learn, my kids learn, and to just look at their world differently, to reframe what they have. Like I used to take my kids to the grocery store, and they always go through the grocery store of this, I want this, I want, and my budget at the time did not permit those things to be purchased. And I used to look at them and say, why do you wish so small? And so we used to get through the grocery store, and by the time we left, we owned islands and
I love that.
planes, and yachts. And we just, I'm the king of the world. And then you just look at that candy bar, and it just doesn't seem very important anymore. So I just love that kind of creativity. And so I joined the service soon after my father died because I wanted to travel. And their idea of traveling isn't quite what my idea of traveling was.
Where did you
they
end up?
Well, I went to Guam.
I've been to Guam.
Yeah.
That's pretty. Yeah, I worked for I did a tour for the Department of Defense. So
it's a short tour.
I did 3 months. 3 months. So
I meant Guam's a short tour.
Yeah,
Guam
I was only
right.
there a week. So and it was beautiful. But
you could see the whole thing twice.
yeah, it was. I know it was gorgeous, but I can't imagine being stationed there.
Yeah. But then I met my husband. Well, we were both working on the same plane, so
you were working on planes. Oh, I think
Yes.
I read that. You were a plane.
I was an aircraft mechanic.
That's amazing.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah. And
I mean, is that common for a woman to be an airplane
yes, I will tell you, there were a lot of some of those things are just on so tight, some of those things that they have, and so I'd have to get help, and use the cheater bars all the time. But eventually they put me in the office where I shined because my understanding of the engine was quite good.
Wow.
But my ability to crank some of those
hard.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
was not as good. So anyways, but I would help order the parts and check on, the status and give reports on the Red X. That's
Right.
if a plane has Red X, it isn't going anywhere.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And so if somebody's tearing something apart, you Red X it because you've got it torn apart to even look at something. So I would just keep track of all those and stuff.
Oh, wow.
So then, I got married. We had our kids, and then I wanted to teach. And so I went to school and got my degree, and I taught middle school in Post Falls. And then I retired, and I went to go and write my first book. And right after that, COVID hit. So I tutored my granddaughter.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
I just I totally came up with a curriculum for her, and tutored her through that year. And it was kind of rough for her because she had 3 hours of school every day, one-on-one, and worked hard.
Yeah.
Everybody else had an hour of Zoom.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Oh, wow.
It was a difficult time.
She probably felt cheated, but actually,
We had a lot of fun. We did a lot of hands-on activity type
That's
stuff.
cool.
So we actually had a lot of fun with that. And so then I started writing, and
So you did this during COVID?
no, I did that after my daughter went back to school. My granddaughter,
okay.
I mean. After she went back to school, then I started on that. And it just poured out of me.
Wow.
I mean, like I said, I get creative ideas. I get ideas for stories all the time. It's exhausting, actually. And so I never have had writer's block. I've always had, I can't think fast. I can't type fast enough.
Wow.
To write it down.
Wow.
Had this been a story that was kind of in the back of your head for a while, or did it just...
Yes, I did have this, but it really, as I wrote it, it morphed. I mean, that's just kind of the nature.
I would imagine, right?
Yeah, so the story that I originally had isn't the Sins of Survival story that I ended up with, but yeah. I mean, and then there's like tons and tons of research that you do.
Sure.
In fact, I just got back from taking a tour of the Eisenhower Tunnel, which plays a prominent setting in my book. Yeah, they're not giving anymore.
Oh, wow.
They're doing some construction, but it took a little bit to write in and tell them who I was, and I don't know if they vetted me or not, but it took them a while, and then they said, "Yeah, sure, come." So took a tour, and it was amazing.
I bet.
Yeah.
Wow.
So tell us a little bit about the premise of the story.
Well, the premise of this story is it's in the past, like several decades ago, a meteorite storm hit the Earth. So it hit for days. So no part of the Earth was left untouched from this storm. And although it didn't annihilate and devastate, so that there was an extinction level event, it did send it back into a dark age. And then corporations that were still incapable, they still had resources, they were undamaged, they kind of took over because governments failed. And so they took over the people, and so they had to get people to do their work, to continue on what they were doing, and they kind of corralled them into their territories and kept them prisoner.
Right.
And so they have, basically it's a 3-caste system. You have these super elites, then you have the uppers who do all the management, and then you have the workers. And so that's how it was. And there was a guy who is a elite. His name is Bannon Vogel. He wants something better. He believes in better. So he buys the Eisenhower Tunnel with his massive amounts of money and says he's going to fix it because it was in terrible repair. And he stages a nuclear accident in it and creates a sanctuary town.
Right, and I'm just at that point in the book where I'm starting to read about what he's doing, and that it's this great secret that has to be preserved really carefully because if it got out, it would be destroyed.
Right. And, they have nuclear signatures that are sent out because they're using nuclear energy to run it. So they get this little slight nuclear signature that's sent out. So everybody believes that it's called they call it the poison tunnel. And so far it has not been bothered. They know that inevitably they will be found, discovered, and hopefully not conquered, but so they have things they have to accomplish to prevent that.
Right. Oh, that's so interesting. Especially when you think about what's going on in the world right now, especially in our country. And to think, wow, this is something that could be coming.
Could happen.
Yeah.
Maybe, possibly.
Hopefully I hope it's
not.
fiction.
I hope so too.
Let's believe it is. I want to believe it is. Yeah. What do your kids think of you writing a book?
Well, they're very proud of me. I will tell you, I'm blessed with a very close family. They all live around here.
That's good.
And 2 of them have kids of their own, and then I have my 2 middle boys who are forever single.
It happens.
That
Right.
happens.
It
too.
happens.
That's their choice. But they're all very proud of me, and my family is very supportive.
Sure.
And it's easy to use family up, though, when you have an endeavor like this.
Right.
I'm trying to be careful not to, but it can be done easily.
Right.
Hey y'all, it's Jason from Tubbs Coffee Roasters. We are North Idaho's specialty coffee roaster. We are homegrown and we are local. We love coffee and we love our community, especially Allie and Callie in ArtCast. We have a retail space in our roastery in Hayden, and we can also be found on the shelves at Super One and Yolks. And if you like to buy coffee online, we do offer subscriptions. You can find us at tubscoffeeroasters.com. Support arts and culture and your local roaster. That's all.
So, what inspires you?
Well, lots of things inspire me. I will tell you, my father was a huge influence on me as far as literature and art. He was the most intelligent, driven man I've ever known. He would get interested in science, so he would get microscopes and macroscopes, and he would just dive into it full bore. He loved music, so when he got a piano, because a friend of his couldn't take it where he was moving, he sat down, he learned to play Chopin, he taught himself all of lots of classics. It was amazing, some of the music I got to listen to in my own home. Mm-hmm. And he loved literature. I mean, he raised us reading the great works of literature. I went to I don't know how many Shakespeare plays and other plays when I was a young kid. And it's hard to share those with your friends because they don't understand them. Mm-hmm. But when I was teaching, I would hire a Shakespeare troupe every year to come and do a play for the 8th graders, because Shakespeare is for the common man. Shakespeare wasn't for the elite.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And so I would teach them the story, and we'd act it out, and they'd have so much fun. And they would come back and say, "You know what, Mrs. Ward, I've seen several Shakespeare plays since then."
Yeah,
so,
that's great.
Yeah, because anyway, so my dad taught me to love the classics and to love the written word. And I dream in words. I think in words. Words are everything, you know. It's what makes us human, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Did you grow up in Idaho?
I did not grow up in Idaho. I grew up in California.
Mm-hmm. That's okay. All right. We love everyone here.
That's right.
But I do remember writing in my journal that I didn't feel like I belonged there because it was getting so crowded so quickly, and I really liked the mountains where my grandparents lived, and the orchards that I used to pass on the way to school, and the horses I would feed. And, and that's when I, joined the military to have a financial way to move out.
Right. And how did you end up in Post Falls?
Well, I met my husband, and he loved this area, and so he came one year. I was pregnant with our second child, very pregnant with our second child, with those four-wheeling roads that we went on, and to look at property. And this was almost 40 years ago, to look at property, and I just fell in love with this area, and so we bought some property, and then we had to stay in the military, moving from place to place. And when they offered that big, if you want to get out, here's a ton of money. And we said, that's us. Let's go build our house. We're done. And we went and built our house.
Oh, that's great.
He continued on in the Guard so that he could get his retirement. So.
That's great.
So that's how we did that.
That's awesome. Wow.
You mentioned that you traveled a lot while you were in the military. Where did you?
Well, we didn't.
You didn't.
That's what I said. They didn't. It wasn't my idea of travel, but I did go to Guam, obviously to Texas, went Alaska. We lived in Alaska. I lived in Tucson.
That's cool.
Yeah, so we lived in those places. Now, my husband, because he was active, he went to Europe and all kinds of places.
That's where you wanted to go. Right. I get it.
Yeah. Exactly.
But he worked so hard, He worked so hard that he didn't get much time off. So
Right.
How was Alaska?
I loved Alaska.
Where were you in Alaska?
Oh, Elmendorf, near Anchorage.
Near Anchorage, yeah.
Yeah. The first year you're in Alaska, you're like, I'm cool. I can handle this, and it is interesting. I mean, the moose come into your yard. And moose come into my yard here too.
Yeah.
But they. It was absolutely beautiful. So raw. That country is brand new.
Yeah.
Well, it was back then.
Yeah.
And so I really liked it. Even the day and the night. I mean, it wasn't bad. You would sit there in the summer sometimes, and the kids would be playing, and they were young. I mean, my kids were little, and this is so awesome. And you look down, and you're like, oh, it's 11 o'clock at night.
I know.
The kids aren't in bed.
We need to go to bed. Yeah.
So that would be the one thing that I had to clock watch, because because I
When
had to
it's
keep
light.
because my kids were real little.
Right.
They had to
Yeah.
be kept on the schedule. So.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I hear that's the toughest part about living in Alaska.
I think the darkness.
The darkness.
I would love the light, but the darkness.
Well, even the light can be.
Yeah, because you just get the blackout
difficult,
curtains.
yeah.
You can do
That's
it.
what we had too.
Just do it.
And in the darkness, I used to do daycare there in my home on the Air Force Base, and I made sure we got those kids, even if I had to just drive around in the car every day, we got outside and we're in the sunshine. But it's like it's so low on the horizon. It's a twilight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
But it's beautiful country.
I've not been
gorgeous.
yet, so I'm fascinated.
It's worth
Alaska.
It is.
Yeah,
I've
for
been
sure.
left there once.
Yes, she was. That's
another story.
It's the Homer and drunk guy story.
Yeah, that's another story.
One of my
but
favorites.
Anyway,
in fact.
but I do love Alaska. Yeah, I've been there on another occasion that was not related to that one particular time, but
Oh, that's good to know. So
yeah,
that's
I've been
not
there
the
before.
only issue,
No,
right?
No, it's beautiful. So you've got the Sins of Survival, and then the next book is
You're working on the next.
Well, and then I have Somewhere Else, which is the High Mind series. And then the next book is Lion's Creed.
okay.
And it kind of parallels that book in time, but it's about what's going on the outside of those guys are
Right.
They're
so
in
these guys are in it.
Okay.
And then this is kind of the
This is the
overview.
outside.
More, oh, wow.
Yeah, and this is an outside view, and then those two come together, and then the last one will be called Caliban 2.
Okay.
It's going to be called what?
Caliban 2.
Caliban 2.
Cali? Like Cali?
Yeah, I can't tell you the secret.
Okay. Well, I
You'll
can't
have to
wait. I have to
so
read
the
it.
second book, you've only got like 2 more chapters. Is that right?
Yes.
And then you're going to launch into the third one.
Right.
Right.
Well, I'll probably launch into the second one of Somewhere Else.
Oh, right. Yes,
Right, and
because
then-
they're kind of all connected.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to read them all.
I know.
I've had every adult who's read Somewhere Else says, "Oh my gosh, this is a great story. This
Right.
isn't for kids." And I said, "No, it's okay for kids."
Yeah, right.
It's appropriate.
Right.
And who did you publish with? How hard was it to get it published? We hear this a lot.
Oh, yeah, we do hear
that
this a
it's
lot.
really hard to get published.
The first book I published was with Fulton Books, which is a hybrid company. You have basically 3 choices. You can go with a traditional publisher. You work hard to get an agent. Hard to get an agent. And it can be hit and miss. And then and it can be expensive because people go, "Oh, I will help you write your query for $100," and "Oh, I'll help you write another query for $100." And you haven't even all you've done is spend money.
Yeah.
So, and the other one is a hybrid, where you go with a company who literally just publishes your book for you, and you pay them a fee, and they'll publish your book.
Right.
And then you can go all by yourself. Now, I would never trash Fulton. They did exactly what they said they would do, and I'm glad that I went with them. I learned so much.
I bet.
But they're one more hand in the pocket.
Gotcha.
Right.
Sure.
And so if you get to a point where you can remove that hand,
It'd be better.
it's
Of course.
much better.
Of course.
And so these 2 books I published on my own. I did do some querying, and I had some people reach out to me saying, "I'll help you do the querying. These are really good books." But the reality of it is you query, and then maybe if you're lucky, you get it picked up in a year. Well, then that agent has to find a publisher. And that could take a year or 2 or 3. And here you've sat on a book for 4 years.
That's crazy.
Right.
That nobody has seen letter 1 of.
Right.
And then when it's finally published, some people have the expectation that publisher is really going to sell it for him. And that's not necessarily the case. So I said, I'm going to do it myself, and I'm going to do the very, very best I can, and I'm going to go out and sell. And I've done several Barnes & Noble sell out every single time.
Is that right?
That's awesome.
Oh, that's so cool.
I have taken it to bars, sold at bars, because they said, "Hey, we're going to feature Vivi or Roxanne tonight," and
Yeah.
And so I've gone there. I have gone to little festival places.
Right.
So I hand out bookmarks. That's my
Your calling card.
my calling card, and I hand out bookmarks to everyone I can find.
Yeah.
And I have gotten some sales on that. And I actually have made some sales. The one thing that I need to learn how to do is get people to give me reviews, because reviews are everything to an author.
Oh, right.
And those are hard to get. And I would never, I know that it's been done, but I would never, ever, ever create reviews or get people to write. I would never do that.
Oh, right.
If it's not genuine, it doesn't mean anything.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, it's the hard part about any art is the marketing.
Yes.
And getting it out there and getting the word out and finding your audience, and then, hopefully getting a certain amount of financial success by it.
Exactly.
I mean, we have a lot of our own passion projects, right?
Oh, yeah.
We don't make money. I mean, you can feel good about doing it, but it's sure nice to also have some financial reward.
Exactly.
Right.
Well, and it's validation.
Yeah, it's nice when you spend so much time. Like, how long do you think it takes you to write one, like, Sins of Survival?
Right.
Well, of course, you write it, I don't know how many times.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's that.
True.
But literally, to begin writing, first of all, there's all the research. But then when I gather my ideas. But then when I sit down to write, it'll take me about a week to write a chapter, and I write it over and over and over. But that's not even then you go back when it's all done, and you do it again and again, and then editing, and it's a lot of work. But I will tell you, my favorite part about writing is revising. I love it so much. People have to pry me out of my room.
Oh, wow.
That's good. I mean,
well, I can see that because you've already got the guts of it, and now you're refining it.
Yeah.
And I can see where that would be. That would be. It's almost. I would think it would be almost like a relief. You've got the
Fine-tuning
bones, and now you're just filling the meat in.
yeah.
That's right.
Good. I like that. Good use of words.
Yeah.
I would like to
tried.
be better at marketing, though, but it seems like that's the one thing artists don't tend to be. That doesn't tend to be our gift, or mine anyway.
Right. No, I
So-
think that is
Every
so
artist
true
says that.
across the board.
Yep.
I hear it all the time.
Everyone we know.
Yeah.
I just
true,
love.
but-
I love to hear what people say about my work, and that is what I live for. Really, I know I'm not making a lot of money on this book, but that's okay, because I have made other arrangements for my life. I'm not
Right.
That's good. Well,
Yeah.
but you enjoy doing it. And,
Yes.
And to hear what people think.
Right.
I think it'd be
Well,
exciting.
and I think that is it's more genuine too. I mean, what you're saying is you're not trying to make money.
Yeah.
You're trying to please some part of yourself or satisfy that part of yourself that needed to get that out.
to share.
Yeah.
But making money would be very good.
That would
Yes,
be
of
nice
course.
too.
Nobody
That would be
here in this
I'm not
room
going
wants
to deny
turn
that I
down.
want to make money. I'm sorry.
No, I think that's all right. It's a positive if
It
it
is,
happens.
for sure.
It's also
Yeah.
a good thing too.
Hi, Allie here. Hey, do you love our Artcast? Be sure to follow us on your favorite podcast app or like us on Facebook to get notifications about some upcoming giveaways, like an official Allie and Callie mug. Our audience is growing too, and we are a great outlet for advertising. Consider being a sponsor, and Callie and I will record an ad for you or help you record it yourself. Thank you for listening.
So you've got the third book kind of wrapping around your brain. Do you have anything else in mind after that?
Well, I got to tell you, a lot of people ask me, why didn't you write fantasy? That's what's so popular. And I thought to myself, we escape a lot into a fantasy. And I think that the world demands our attention right now. Maybe we should stop escaping, and maybe we should start thinking about what we value and how to hang on to it. And so that's kind of what my book is about, is how to hang on to what is valuable.
Right.
And so, and hope.
I think that's a really good thought.
Yeah.
I think you're absolutely right. And I'm guilty of that myself, escaping into fantasy just to check out for a while. But maybe right now is the time when we need to be checking in.
Pay attention. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and there's magic in hope. Hope is
true.
Hope is our magic.
Yes.
And we pass it on from generation to generation. It's immortal. It has very redeeming qualities.
Yeah.
Right.
The
Yeah.
Power of Hope.
Right.
That's the title of my book. Power of Hope.
The Power of Hope
I'm not going to write a book.
by Callie
Maybe
Valley.
I wish I could write. I'm not a writer, that's for sure. But
Well, I know I'm really excited to keep reading this because I'm in it.
yes,
And not all books grab me right away.
and I'll
so-
get it
thank
after
you.
you.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm next, and I read them in fast.
She does. She reads them fast.
I like it. But-
And it's in the library.
oh, awesome! It's in the
In
Coeur
the
d'Alene
Coeur d'Alene
Library.
Public
Coeur d'Alene
Library.
Library.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah.
So check it out in the Coeur d'Alene
I
Public
know.
Library.
But you also have a website,
yes,
I do.
and it's Roxanne Ward.
It's RoxanneWardAuthor.com.
author.com.
perfect.
So you can get it there. Can you get it on Amazon?
Oh, I don't sell from my website, but you can get it
No,
on
it's-
Amazon.
yeah.
Yeah. On there, it says, I have my dog, and it says, Nikki, fetch me a book.
That's cute.
awesome.
Nikki, your dog Nikki.
That's
sweet.
cute. And then it'll take you
It'll take you to Barnes & Noble. It'll take you to
Perfect.
Amazon. I'm going to be doing a book signing in Spokane Valley Mall
Okay.
at the Barnes & Noble on the 29th from 11 to 2.
Oh, that's great.
In July?
July 29th.
In July, yes.
July 29th from 11 to 2 at
Which
the
is-
Barnes & Noble at the
Which
Spokane
I
Valley
believe
Mall.
is just a week away from this podcast.
That's right.
Because this is July 21st.
That's right. You're so smart.
You know, sometimes
I'm going to put that on my calendar. That would
I
be
know.
nice if we could go.
I know.
I got to talk about that piece that you gave us for the yard sale that your husband didn't like.
Oh,
Yeah, I want you to tell me, just first of all, describe it a little bit since nobody on the podcast can see it.
well, I think it's almost Picasso-esque, and only it's a more of a native art, like from the Caribbean, and it is all these women, and
I
they-
like that one.
I love that piece.
It's in your office,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
it is.
I think it's cool.
stunning. It's all these women, and they're
They look like they're working.
they're working.
Yeah.
They've got their baskets, and they're working together. And I got it when I was in the Caribbean because my son was with me, and I saw it, and I just loved it.
Yeah.
you know, it's not monochromatic, but it's got only a few colors,
Yeah.
but they're striking. There's
Yeah.
black and white and some browns and then gold. There's
Yeah.
like shiny gold in it.
Yeah.
And so then I took it home and I framed it, and it's big. It's
Yeah.
not a small
Uh-huh.
It
painting.
is not.
no.
It is big. Yeah.
And it's I just think it's phenomenal. And I enjoyed it for 10 years, you know, but it really does clash with some of the art that we have in our front room. It's different. So, I mean, and I was like, okay, you know, when I heard that you guys were having an art sale, I was like, well, I enjoyed it for a while. I think it's time for it to
find a
go
new
and
home.
find a home, or
Right.
somebody looks up at it every day and says, that's so awesome.
It's
Right.
a cool painting.
I know. That's what I love about our yard sale, because it is an opportunity for people to repurpose their art that they've enjoyed, and they're ready to move on, and then somebody else
Find
can
a new wall.
Yeah, somebody else can enjoy it for a while. So thank you for that.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm happy to get you
By
done
the
like
way,
that.
when is the art sale?
It is September
9th.
9th? Okay,
I know,
good.
because I can't come.
Oh, that's
no.
right.
I have a wedding and I have to go. I mean, I want
Right.
to go.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Yes. Weddings are fun.
Weddings are fun.
I'd go
That
to a
it was on the
wedding, too.
9th was disappointing.
No.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
fun. Yeah. It'll be down at the chamber, and it'll be fun. But thanks for the art. I think it's cool.
I love
If
it.
I had any wall space left,
Right?
I swear.
I might be freeing up some wall space
Oh.
because my son and daughter-in-law just bought a house in Sandpoint.
They
and
need
they
some
have
art.
lots of wall space. So
Oh.
I'm gonna be maybe although it's really hard for me because I love every piece that
I know.
I have.
Yeah. See? So
I
that's
know.
the other hard part.
Yeah.
It's like, ooh, can I let this go? Yeah. Sometimes.
We'll see. Anyway,
Yeah.
well, we really appreciate you coming down. Thanks for the books.
Yes, I can't wait to
Yep.
read mine.
Yep.
I'm ready to read soon.
Yep. And
I'll read soon.
I'm really looking forward to getting into it and then starting to read the other ones because I love the fact that Sins of Survival has companion books that are not the same story, but they
tied.
kind of are tied and related, and that makes it fun.
Very cool.
Yeah, just connected.
I believe the Lion's Creed will be out this fall.
Oh, that's
Perfect.
great. We will look for it.
When I have more time to read.
That's right. After your directorial
I know. When my life
experience.
calms down a little bit.
And I could read on the plane to Portugal.
That's right. When you're in Portugal.
When I'm in Portugal, I probably won't read, but when I'm on the plane
You
going
can
and,
read.
and
Exactly.
coming home, I will read.
Well, thank you so much,
Yeah,
Roxanne.
thanks so much,
This
Roxanne.
was so nice.
This was great.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So,
I'm Allie.
and I'm Callie. And whatever you do today, make sure it's creative.
The Allie and Callie Artcast is a program of the Coeur d'Alene Arts and Culture Alliance and is sponsored by NIA, North Idaho Alliance, a woman-based leadership organization designed to inspire, uplift, and impact your community and lives. And Tubbs Coffee Roasters, globally sourced, locally roasted coffee.